Hello and welcome to a new series of face-to-face interviews with India's up-and-coming young cricket stars. And to start with, a very special guest. Just 8 years ago, he was playing cricket with tennis balls. Today, however, he's the spearhead of the Indian bowling attack. How's he done it? And much more importantly, how does he look back on this transformation which must have changed his life? Here to tell us is Zaheer Khan. Welcome to the program, Zaheer.
Thanks.
You know, you started playing for India just 3.5 years ago, and yet you're already the spearhead of the bowling attack. Are you surprised by your success?
Well, right now I'm the spearhead, but last 3 years has been great. I think before I played my first game, probably I would have surprised, but once I made my debut, once I started picking wickets and performing at the international level, I knew that one day I'm going to be a spearhead of the Indian.
But you're not just the spearhead. You in fact have the record for the fastest 100 wickets. You did it in just 65 one-day matches. 10 years ago, you couldn't have thought that was going to happen.
Well, definitely not. I think 10 years back, I probably started studying and thinking of becoming an engineer or something, because I started playing very late. So obviously, to become a cricketer was not on my mind that time, definitely.
So the last 3.5 years have been a sort of dream come true.
Yeah, I think it all started in '96 when I actually came to Mumbai, and it's been 8 years of hard work since then.
Let's pick up on the day you got chosen to be an Indian player. You were 21 at the time. Do you remember how you got the news?
Yes, I think I was with Yuvraj in Chennai. We had a camp before the ICC knockout Kenya. So we both were sharing the room, and it was the last day of the camp. We both were having lunch together. Lunch had just come. We were just sitting, about to have our lunch. So the news came in on television, and we both started screaming. We hugged each other, and then
It was a complete surprise.
Yeah, well, I knew that selection for the Indian seed is somewhere around the corner, because I've been performing at the domestic level very well. So I know one day or the other it's going to happen. But I wanted it to happen in that particular series, because a series before that, which was in Dhaka, I missed it because I had some niggles. So I was very up for it. I was praying right from the bottom of my heart that I want to go on this series and make a mark at the international.
And I suppose lunch never got finished that day.
Never, because the moment we hugged each other, and we just jumped on the phones, and we started calling our relatives, my mom and dad, and
now
I was just calling.
You made your actual debut playing against Kenya in the ICC knockout tournament. Were you surprised when Sourav Ganguly gave you the ball and asked you to open the bowling?
Yes, I was. I was very surprised by the fact that he threw the ball at me, because he never told me that he wants me to open the bowling for India. So yeah, it was a very good surprise actually.
Were you nervous?
Very nervous.
Your heart was going bang, bang, bang.
Well, I'll tell you, the last night before the match, I couldn't sleep till 2:30 in the night. I was just so restless, and I was so waiting for that moment to come. When I'm actually running in and bowling my first delivery. But I think the moment that first delivery was over, the pressure was off, and I was pretty relaxed. And I think the moment I got my first wicket, I knew that I'm in for the big one.
In fact, you went on to take 3 in that match, but the really big wicket came in the match afterwards, wasn't it? Steve Waugh, who you clean bowled.
Yes. I think that particular series, it was changing picture of Indian cricket, because me, Yuvraj, and a couple of other youngsters also were there doing well in that series. And I'm sure Australia had taken it by surprise.
But you must have thought that Steve was a terrific scalp to have.
Well, I think he's a match winner. I mean, he would have easily turned the game from that moment. And when I got the wicket, actually, it helped the team to win that particular game.
Yet the funny thing is that although you had a great start, you had to wait 22 tests before you got your first 5-wicket haul. Was that bad luck, or was that also a little bit of a psychological problem?
No, I think Test cricket is very tough, and you have to show a lot of character to perform in a Test match. So I think I missed it on a couple of occasions. Before that, I was taking 4 wickets, but never converted my 4 wickets into 4. So yeah, that disappointment was there, that pressure was there on me.
So in
But
Basin River, when you got that Daniel Vittori wicket on the third day, was it relief that you felt, or was it a great sense of joy?
well, I think I'm happy only when I'm in good rhythm, bowling well. Wickets are secondary. I mean, it is very important for the team. Yeah, yes, that is also there. But if you're bowling in good rhythm, if you're bowling well, then sooner or later wickets are going to
So that day you sort of felt everything's just working perfectly.
Yes.
The World Cup began beautifully for you. You took 19 wickets really early. But on the big grand day on the finals, everything just went wrong. What happened?
I think everyone were trying to give that extra bit in the finals, And,
You mean you were trying too hard?
Yes, I had no exception. I was no exception for that. I was really trying to go flat out and giving that extra bit. I was very charged up, and probably because of that, things didn't fall
So
in
if you'd
place.
been just a little less charged and a little bit more in control, you might have actually bowled better.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's one of those sort of paradoxes of life, isn't it? You try too hard and it doesn't work out correctly.
I think in cricketer's life, you learn game by game. I think, and that was a great learning experience for me.
The amazing thing is that when you began cricket, right up to the age of 17, you were playing with a tennis ball.
Yeah, very true.
How difficult was the transition to a leather ball?
It was very difficult. I started playing cricket in Mumbai on the National Cricket Club, which is in Cross Maidan. And yeah, I think to bowl on a cricket ball and to bowl on a tennis ball is two different things.
Is it almost like learning a new game?
Not really, but basically, you need more strength to bowl a cricket ball, and I was practicing quite hard because I knew I had started very late. 17 was to start at the age of 17 was very late, because rest of the guys start from under 13, they play under 15 and under 19, and also I knew I was late. Yeah.
The big change in your case, Zaheer, happened when Sudhir Naik came into your life. And yet I gather you met him almost by accident, didn't you?
Yes, it was an accident. I came here to Mumbai for a holiday after my 12th examinations. So my dad actually brought me here, and we were just roaming around the Maidans of Mumbai.
Just sightseeing,
yeah,
literally?
No, just to get some coaching advice. I wanted to spend a month or two in Mumbai getting the advice on cricket.
So how did Sudhir Naik feature?
Well, a morning my dad took me to National Cricket Club, and then he saw me there, and then he asked me, what do you do? I said, I just finished my 12th examination, and he said, if you're ready to stay here in Mumbai and give some time to cricket, I will make sure that you will play all the A division games. I didn't have a clue what the A division game is, but I was so thrilled by the fact that someone is showing such a confidence in me, and I straight away said, yes, I will take a year's gap from my education. I don't mind doing that, but I will devote myself for cricket for a year, and then I'll see where I'm standing after 1 year. If the 1 year goes well, then I'll probably continue. Otherwise, I'll fall back on my engineering.
And all of this happened because Sudhir Naik saw you bowl and was impressed by your style.
I think he was impressed by my style, and he felt something that he said, I'll make you play all the A division games here.
There was another happy accident a little later that took you to the MRF Base Foundation, wasn't it?
Yes, it happened in '98 when Mr. T. Shekhar saw me in some under-19 games which I was playing for Mumbai, and then he asked me for the trials, and Dennis Lilly picked me up then, and since then I spent 3 years in MRF Base Foundation.
Your life seems to be full of little happy, neat little accidents. Do you believe in fate?
Yes, I do believe in fate, because coming from a small town and reaching the stage where I've reached now, I think it has to be destiny, and by the grace of God, these little accidents happened to me which changed my life.
Maradona once spoke about the hand of God. Do you think the hand of God is occasionally pushing you in a direction as well?
Yes, yes. I always feel that, and more importantly, it's all prayers of my mom, dad, and my grandma, my family, I think.
Those early days which actually formed your career when you were at the MRF Base Foundation and earlier with Sudhir Naik were important years, but they were also pretty difficult, weren't they? Because you didn't have a lot of money in those days.
Yeah, I think it was tough in those days because I come from a typical middle class family where my mom was a teacher, my dad was a photographer. So yeah, I knew that, and I knew exactly, what I should be doing. So I think that really helped me in sort of becoming the way I've put up now.
There was a time when your father came to see you in Bombay, you were still going through coaching and training, and he caught you washing clothes. You were doing it to save money, but he was actually very upset, wasn't he?
No, I did it in MRF Base Foundation also. So probably he was more concerned about his son washing his clothes after the training and all. But I think it was just a routine for me. But later on, he decided to keep a boy who comes and wash my clothes.
Hey, let's take a break. I want to come back in part two and talk about the background that made the cricketer sitting in front of me. We'll be back in a moment's time. Don't go away. Welcome back to Face to Face. My guest is India's pace bowler, Zaheer Khan. Zaheer, let's talk about your childhood. You were born in the small Maharashtra town of Shrirampur. What sort of place is it?
It's a very small place, basically. It's in Ahmednagar district, very close to Shirdi, and nothing much to do. Just 3 colleges there and 2 main streets. That's it.
When you say nothing much to do you really mean nothing much to do?
Well, yeah, but basically, whoever's studying there or growing up as a kid, they only have 2 things in mind. They have to become either an engineer or a doctor. So, yeah, I think. Considering that, it's a very, very small town. Yeah.
Now, your mother says that there's an intriguing story behind how you got your name.
Well, yeah. Actually, they wanted to keep their son's name starting with the letter Z. So, my mother's name is Zakia. My elder brother's name is Zishan. So, they wanted my name to start with Z. So the 2 names were there, Zahid and Zaheer. And coincidentally, that time I think Zaheer Abbas had scored a century or something and got the Man of the Match award. So they said, okay, let's go ahead with that. But the name Zaheer also has a good meaning, which they were really impressed with, which is the guy who is ready to help others. So it's called as Madadgar. So I think.
Do you live up to that?
I try to.
Your father says that as a young boy, he was stubborn, he had a mind of his own, and he was always getting up to mischief.
Well, I think still I do have a little bit of that left, I think, but
you still like getting up to pranks?
Not pranks, but if I decide to do something, then I do it my way, the way I like it. Yeah.
He says that when he was 3 years old, he did things his own way to such an extent that once he almost got himself electrocuted.
Yeah, very true. Because my grandmother used to look after me, and she said a live wire is hanging just around the corner, so please don't go there. And I was very curious to know what does a live wire mean. So I went there and touched it because she asked me not to touch it, and it was very bad actually.
And in fact, you did something very similar one day when your father was taking photographs. You fell into the canal and almost drowned.
Yeah, actually my uncle saved me that time. I was me and my elder brother were just standing on the steps of they have on the canal, and I thought there's still one more step there. I just put my feet loosely and I almost drowned myself. Yeah.
So when people tell Zaheer Khan not to do something, that's exactly what he wants to do.
Well, that was in my childhood.
Now you're more obedient, are you?
Yeah.
The funny thing is the world today knows you as a cricketer, but as you revealed in part 1, you really wanted to be an engineer, didn't you?
Yes, actually, I got my admissions into engineering college also. I was doing instrumentation engineering, but I quit it for cricket. because after the first year in Mumbai, I decided to take cricket seriously, and I knew both are full-time jobs, and because I've started very late playing cricket, I knew I had to put in lots of work to reach a certain level. So I decided to quit engineering then and then.
Was it a difficult decision, or did you have no doubt about it?
It was a very difficult decision, I must say, but my family really cooperated me well. They never put any pressure on me, saying, you know, you have to do engineering. My elder brother is an engineer, so I think that helped me probably, because they knew that their one son is an engineer. So
now your friends say that he's an introvert, but he's also a laid-back personality.
But I think I am a laid-back personality. That I must admit. I mean, that doesn't mean that I don't put in the work which is required. After putting in the work which is required, I am a very laid-back person.
But when you're relaxing, you switch off completely.
Yes, that's very true.
They also say that he very rarely loses his temper. Is that because you're disciplined, or because you simply don't take offense easily?
No, I think that has come to me very naturally, and maybe that time has taught me that, because all the time I was since '96 I've been living on my own. So probably, you know, I learned more, and I used to be very quiet. So probably I understand the situation and then only react to it.
You're saying when you're living on your own, it's not wise to get angry with people around you.
That is also true.
But the funny thing is, don't they say that aggression is an important part of, and an important quality in a fast bowler?
But I think I do have an aggression in me, but that shows on the field, you know, and that comes from within. The moment I enter the field, I think I'm totally a different personality.
You mean you see a batsman and you start getting angry?
Well, I think representing India is a great thing. I know that is responsibility, and the moment I enter on the field, I knew, you know, what job I have to do. So that all comes from within.
The difficult thing about aggression is keeping it in check. How easy is it to charge yourself up and yet actually keep yourself in control at the same time?
I think you have to practice all that, you know, and that comes with playing more and more matches. And I think once you start playing more and more matches and be aware of you know what is helping you performing better, then probably you can work on that.
So tell me, how much of fast bowling actually happens in the mind?
I think 60%, I must say.
60%?
Yeah, 60%,
as high as that?
Yeah.
So the difference between a good day and a bad day is actually your own attitude.
Exactly, yeah. I think if you have a right attitude, then the percentage of success is more, I think, yeah.
Now, of course, in the last 5 years, you've come a long way from the shy, introverted young boy who used to live and play in Shrirampur. How much have you changed?
I think I've changed in a big way, and changed for good, because I never used to converse with anyone, and never used to able to communicate with anyone. But I think since '96 and now I've learned lots of things about communicating, talking to the people. And all.
When you say learned, do you mean you had to learn, or was it a natural thing that just happened?
I think it happened naturally. I didn't have to do any extra efforts for that, I think. Yeah.
Are you a naturally friendly person? I mean, do you like a lot of people around you, or are you a bit of a loner?
I'm a bit of a loner, but I take my time to open up, I think, with my close friends and all.
You mean you judge people carefully before you decide to make them your friends?
I try to.
Huh?
Always try to.
Is that because you're naturally cautious?
No, I think that's because most of the time I spend on my own, probably because of that.
Most people find it very difficult to be on their own. Do you find that, in fact, when you're on your own, you're happiest?
I think when you're on your own, you think more, and you know exactly, you know, what you want out of certain things. Yeah.
In which case, how do you deal with all the fans and all the adulation and all the emails that you get? Because the world around you wants to be with you all the time.
But I think my email address, only my friends has got my email address.
What about the fans that surround you wherever you go?
I think, yeah, I mean, well, it's a nice thing that to have fan following and all. But again, I realize my responsibility towards my country after being, getting noticed by people.
But what about the hundreds of girls who keep writing wanting to marry you? Your mother says that he gets more proposals than anyone else.
Well, the good part is my mother never tells me about that.
She shields you from them, does she?
I think she knows that her son has got too many responsibilities on her mind, and his career it just began. So I think she's being sensible.
But you know, there is one question that all the girls want to know. They say he's handsome, he's successful, perhaps he's rich, and he's very popular. When is he going to get married?
As I said just now, I just started my career, so I'm just taking my time. I think I still have to give a lot more to cricket, and then only probably I'll think of it.
And if you're cautious and slow choosing your friends, you're going to be even more cautious choosing a wife.
So I think it will happen when it has to happen, yeah.
So this is bad news for all the girls listening to this interview, isn't it?
Not really.
Now, one of the problems that you've had is injury.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened from time to time. Does it worry you?
To be honest, not at all, because injuries are there to make you fitter, because you get that time off, and you can work on your fitness more, and then you can come back and.
You mean like success, injury is also sent by God?
I think so.
It's not punishment from God.
Not really. I think I take everything in a positive way and look forward. So I think whatever thing has happened for a reason, and you must find that reason out and work doubly hard to get back to it.
It sounds to me that in addition to thinking deeply, you also have a lot of willpower. Do you? Are you a very determined sort of person?
Yes, I am. I am a very determined person. I think to come from Shrirampur and reach to the stage I have reached now, I think you got to have determination.
And sometimes, in addition to determination, when you look back at the journey from Shrirampur to the spearhead of the Indian bowling attack, do you say to yourself, it's almost a miracle?
It is a miracle, I feel. I think, and that's why I always say that there is someone who is pushing me all the time, and just keeping me going.
The journey, of course, has only just begun. Do you have any idea where it's going to end?
As I said, I keep getting these pushes here and there, so I'm sure it's going to go a long way.
So every now and then there's a push from the back and you go a little forward.
Definitely, yeah.
Zaheer, a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.